Hey guys, welcome to your Fridays in your Maxillary Week. Hope that you're having a wonderful time. I'm Dr. Myrdalis Diaz Ramirez, creator of the Design Your Physician Life podcast and the Maxillary Mastermind for physicians who want to learn entrepreneurship, for physicians who are ready to take back control of their lives and remain in control of their lives. This week we've had a very important topic that has allowed us to be able to have our businesses, and is how to maximize your freedom through the using virtual assistants. And we are very fortunate. Through the years, we've used the help of virtual assistants in different ways. Hello, guys, welcome. And so this Tuesday, if you haven't seen it, go back and take a look at our Design Your Physician Life podcast, where we had the person who's hiring actually our virtual assistants, and then through their company we're able to have these wonderful new sets of assistants that we've hired. And we've had this one for she's going to join us shortly. We've had this one, our assistant, for over a year now, and it's been a wonderful relationship. People ask me, what do you have them do? How does the process go? They asked about cost. How can I work with them when they're so far away? What systems do I have to have in place? Hopefully we'll answer a lot of those questions today with Shandia. She's going to be coming shortly. The first time I used remote work was basically as a physician doing work that was for scribing. In that sense, we had already trained our scribes, and during COVID, we had them participate remotely, and many times, like if they were sick or they could not come directly to work, they were already trained. We would turn on the phone, and then that way we would have the scribes there participate. And we're gonna get here Shandia. She's gonna be joining us shortly. I'm super excited to have her in our program today because she's just such a wonderful. She's actually the mind behind a lot of the things that you guys see, most of the things that you see for our social media work. So that's how we work with Shandia in our case. And so my first experience was basically that, using the scribes as remote work. And they were one of the concerns I really had, being a physician there. First was the introduction of a scribe into our relationship with the patient. But then after that, even having them remotely, which, was more strange. So there she is, Shandia. Hey, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Diaz. Can you hear me?
Yes. Perfect. Welcome. Shandia here is joining us today from the Philippines.
Hi,
And where
everyone.
are you in the Philippines?
I'm from Davao City here in the Philippines, and it's 1:30 a.m. here. How about there, Dr. Diaz? 1:30 p.m.,
It's
right?
1:30 p.m. here. Yes, thank you for joining us. And can you tell us a little bit about the Philippines, where you're exactly, how far from Manila, for example, and the islands and all that stuff?
Okay, so here in the Philippines, we have 7,107 islands. So I am from Davao City. So from Manila, it's like a 1 hour ride or 1 hour plane ride from Manila. So it's a bit like province. It's a province because the center of the Philippines is Manila. So it's 1 hour plane ride from Manila.
Well, thank you for being here. You're such a wonderful part of our team, and we're going to go and dive into that a little in a second. For those, I was telling people here that the first experience that I had with remote work was really through our scribes. And then a challenge is just when you're used to have a physician-patient relationship where you're just one-on-one, then just bringing that extra person as a scribe, sometimes we think, how can I? And that was a limiting belief I had. And I was able to enroll that scribe, and they were really a great part of our team is having a scribe. And then when the scribes were not able to be present either because there was a situation, for each of us, or when COVID came, then we had that scribe remotely. And it was always a pleasure because for the work that we have to do as physicians, a huge part of our physician load is that paperwork. And to me, that was the most important person in my day as a physician was the scribe. They were like not only my right hand, they were both hands, they were my brain. They would already be trained to do all the things that really would take away from my direct work with that patient. So I was very fortunate to have those scribes, and those were the first. That was the first time that we used remote work in our daily living, and I would like not change that experience for anything. When we have physicians, and it really allowed me to not only see more patients, and that would pay for itself, the service of the scribe. It allowed me to spend more quality time with my patients. So clinically, that's been a huge help, and I highly recommend, like I say, go all for it. In my experience, those scribes who were interested in going through medical school were the most successful, most hardworking scribes, and we were, every time I had, oh, they're going to medical school, bring them in, because it's a win-win situation. That person is learning for them, like I wish I would have had experience like that. You know all the lingo, you already know how to process things, to clinically put your thoughts together and be able to diagnose somebody, be able to derive a differential diagnosis from that experience is amazing. So they really appreciate that, and you train them very well. They can be like your right hand, your left hand, and your brain, as I say, and they can work remotely for you. And that's one of the most important things that we have with our, and Shandia will go over this shortly. She's not our scribe. She works with us in social media specifically. And we have to help each other. They have to know what you want from them, and you have to know what they're capable of doing, and we have to keep training them. They're really a big, important part of our team. So Shandia has been with us for over a year,
Yes.
and there's this company that we hired her from. So tell us, from your point of view, how did you first learn? In our case, it was our Max Salura Mastermind was looking for somebody to help us with social media, because we really wanted to put all the content, share with others about the things that we're thinking, how physicians can design their physician life, how we have all this podcast work coming out, all this knowledge that we want to share. And we wanted somebody to do that, and that's what we hired. So from your point of view, how did you first learn? I know that we're using Phyllis Song, and for those who don't know about Phyllis Song, this company, please go to our podcast. Tuesday we released it, and tell us, Shandia, how did you first learn about that Max Allure Mastermind was looking for somebody?
Okay, so I have been with Phyllis for a year also. After joining their pool of talents, I decided to look for a client's name. So the first thing you will do is to find client's name and what are they looking for. So the first name that struck me is Tomas Rodriguez, because it's a familiar name. It's like a Filipino name. So I thought that, oh, I think this will be a great fit for me, since I'm really not good in speaking in English. So I thought that he's a Filipino. So I applied for Tomas Rodriguez, social media manager, but I didn't know the job description yet. So after applying for Tomas Rodriguez, social media manager, somebody from Phillies contacted me and asked for an interview. So first interview was me and other talents. So you
A
should be
group
the best.
interview.
Yes, a group interview. So it's a batch interview. So you should be the best among the rest to go to the next level and to go interview with Tomas Rodriguez, right? Because that's the first step that you should take. So
So Tomas
after
Rodriguez, just to tell everybody here. So I'm Dr. Myrdalis Diaz Ramirez, but Tomas Rodriguez is my husband, who's actually our partner, and he does a lot of the work behind the scenes for our company. And it was somebody who was going to be working with him directly, because he processes, or I put the content of the content of the podcast, and then he processes it, and then we needed that somebody who's going to be the next step, and then Shandia learned about that position.
Yes. So after doing the interview with, I think, four other people, the recruiter told me that Tomas picked me to be not hired yet, but the recruiter told me that Tomas is asking if if you're okay for him to interview you, something like that. So that's when we meet after this. I remember that's the first time I met you and Tomas. So you're in the car, right? We're
Yes.
doing interview in the car. So that's it. After the interview process with the client, then the client decided to get you or choose you from the pool of talents. Then Phyllis Song will give you the training. So that's two trainings: the mindset and the skills training. So there's two sets: mindset and skill set. So it's for us to be able to deliver the right skills, and we have the right mindset in working remotely for our clients. So that's the
So so with this company, Phyllis Song, they are different from other companies. One of the things that we want to do is, like, I call it like the Monsters Inc. Principle, where you don't want employees crying, you want them happy, and then if you can make them happy, then you get more from them. And so they teach mindset training, which is directly learnings from Tony Robbins, basically, that are transmitted to the VAs, and the VAs are able to come with a way better attitude, because they're learning not only about their skill sets that they need to work with us directly with the specific objectives that we have for them, but they are also learning things for their lives. So we make them part, and it's something that we choose. Also, as an owner, you can choose to have this training for your employees, and we want to have that because we want them to be happy and work with us for as long as we can have them. We hired somebody, Shandia in this case, who had already a skill set that was basic. Not only they matched to the skill set, the process of interview was wonderful. They also match us in personalities. So
yes,
they
right.
do a disc testing. So tell me about the disc testing on your side. How was that?
So this testing, it's more on a personality test because I have research about it, and it's more on finding the compatibility of the virtual assistant and the client for us to match and for us to get along together, right? Like, just like us. I have been with Max Seller for a year now. It's a very happy journey. It's really amazing. I really like it.
I'm gonna cry because I'm one of the challenges that I have personally, like I'm like a person who likes to hug and stuff, and I would love to hug Chandia, like on like on daily basis. So I'm so happy with the work that she does for us.
Yes.
But it's so far away, so we have not been
Yeah.
able to see each other in person, but we meet regularly. One of the things, like, if you really want to help the work, of your virtual assistant, first, you must know what they can help you with. So the homework that we have for you guys, if you're thinking about what where can I hire a virtual assistant to do with me, first, as a physician, we know we hate all that paperwork. So think about all the things. You hire somebody to do that paperwork for you. In our business, we wanted somebody, because it does take a lot of time. It's easy. It's not that is a difficult work to do, just to put a post outside. But to publish that post, you really have to put things in a way that makes sense, that there's a rhythm to all the message, that there's your brand and everything is taken into account. So if you're the person who has the content for that, and obviously there has to be a plan for why you're doing social media in the first place, right? In our case, is that you really to spread the word so that eventually people will understand the value of our Maxillary Mastermind for physicians, and we can teach them all the things that we've learned. So you have to know those list of things. So make your list of the things that you really don't want to do, you don't like doing, or they take too much time out of what we call your zone of genius. Your zone of genius is basically that area of knowledge and activities where you're matching what you're really trained for at the ultimate level with your daily things, your daily activities. So we have other people to be successful. We have other people that we delegate things to do that help us. And it's not really an expense in that sense of the business growth. It's really an investment that we're doing, having somebody like her. And she has expertise. And in this company, they're not only teaching them the mindset work, they're also helping her grow that expertise. So then she can go back and say, you know what, they asked me this thing and I'm familiar, but I'm not like that expert at doing that. And they teach her. So tell us about some of those things that you've learned from them that maybe you were not that familiar, and then you went back and then you came back to us way stronger in doing for our company.
Okay. So in social media management, I have the skills already because um I already tried this before, but being with a community which helps you enhance your skill set is really amazing. Like for example, the first months I have worked with Maxalure, it's like it's a challenge for me because I really need to embrace the branding, know the voice, our target audience, and learn everything. So what's really good with Phyllis is we have this community where I can ask other VAs or the heads, the supervisors, and helping me. The analytics, like for example, the analytics and how to make our branding go stronger. So that's where I learned that we should be very consistent in everything that we do. We also have to follow these pillars that we have every Monday to Friday. So that's to be consistent. And the fonts, I never really think, or I never really thought about the fonts and the colors being very strong in the branding. But now I have realized that it's really, or is it has a great impact on a brand or in a business.
That's been something that's you brought them to us, like not only like we say, okay, I want somebody to do this, but and she has this skill set, but whatever she learns she's bringing to us, and she's making us stronger as a company. And we have our goals and financial goals, and we share that. We also have we had the in-service or the onboarding of you into our company, and through time we've had meetings, regular meetings. So can you tell us or tell people here, how has that been from your point of view? Because we haven't really had this conversation before about we go and we do our meetings and we do our work, and we do all our things, but how has it been for you? Which things, how did you see the coming to Maxalure to work, the process where you've had that onboarding? And is there something that you would like us to do differently, and that's okay, we're doing it here in public so that we
Yeah,
know,
yes.
that people know how it is, what has made you stay here for a year with us.
Okay. So, aside from Felice, we also have this onboarding here in Maxalure. So that happened like with my co-VA, that's Pauline. So after we have this onboarding with Tomas, then I really like the process because we have been meeting every week, and Dr. Diaz and Tomas are asking us how was our week, how what's our goal for this week, or what's our goal for the next months, and we are making sure that everything or every details that we are going to discuss is um, jot down to notes so that we will never forget it and we will achieve that goal. So I stayed here in Maxalur for a year because first, every day I am working every day, but I don't feel like working every day because I really enjoyed what I am doing. I really like it. I have my freedom, and my clients, Dr. Diaz and Tomas, is telling me that I'm really doing good. It makes my heart happy. And if you're happy with your work, your clients are happy with your work, and you are very happy every day. You are doing everything happily, so you're not stressful in in your work, unlike working on site. You're really stressful, something like that. But here in Maxalur, I'm very happy every day. I am very excited to work. I'm really very excited to learn and listen to the podcast every week because I'm learning a lot. I'm learning every day. It's not like working for me, it's like a learning process for me. So that's why I I stayed here for them.
Well, thank you very much for that. I'm really excited to listen to that, to hear that. Um, if you were like now you are a VA, and one of the questions that, or the concerns that we've seen from others is that VAs might feel lonely, especially like you're in the Philippines and we're here, we're 12 hours apart. I cannot go and see you and give a hug and say, hey, how are you doing today? So how has it been? You say like it doesn't feel like working. Does it feel lonely to you in the sense like so many hours that we're so far far apart and we cannot really be on the phone all day long?
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
so how is it from your point of view being a VA in that sense?
So yeah, in that sense, sometimes I feel sad because you're busy. My clients are busy sometimes when I send a message, and then I have seen that they already seen it, but they didn't reply yet. So I feel like, did I do something wrong? What did something like that? So I have this this mindset. What did I do last week? What did I do yesterday? Why are they not replying to me? Something like that. But I always go back to our mindset training from Phyllis that your clients are busy and they're very straightforward. If they don't like what you're doing, then they will say that to your face, something like that. So that's what I am holding on to. But being a virtual assistant, it's really because I'm working from home. I have my kids, so I'm not really that super sad. I'm happy because I'm with them. I can work with them. I can cuddle with them. I can work and cuddle. So it's an amazing opportunity for me.
That's awesome. You are meeting regularly, you've been meeting regularly with other VAs. Can you
Yes.
tell us which type of VAs and what sort of activities are people delegating to the VAs you've met so that people get ideas of where they can hire a VA for, besides scribing and social media? And I've hired also my personal assistant has been a VA too. They have been, before I forget, wonderful personal assistant, executive assistant, deleting like all my schedule. I don't like to schedule because it interrupts me where I have to be, and then just tell me where I'm going and then I'm going to be there. So that's something that I delegated, having an executive assistant and responding to my emails, organizing some email funnels for our clients or physicians, corresponding with every single person for the podcast, organizing any agreements, sending agreements, payments and stuff like that, organizing payments, not only for the podcast, for the mastermind, and for some other services that we have. So all that communication, executive assistant, can be done by a virtual assistant. Which other type of virtual assistant have you worked with or have you
Okay.
seen?
So aside from being a social media manager or an executive assistant, you can also hire a bookkeeper. You can also hire a web developer, an accountant. Um, there is this um, transcriber,
Yeah,
something like that.
describing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's transcriber and many others. Like you can also have a virtual assistant that is on calls, like like a call center agent. So they will be the one to contact other people for you if you don't like talking to phones to other people. So you can get a VA and let them do the job.
Exactly. Yes. And the other way that I've used the assistant is also like for planning trips, for example, for personal and professional. What is if you want somebody to help you, finding your hotel, your transportation, all the arrangements and all the stuff, you can do that. One of the questions is going to be, how about my credit card and all that stuff, giving them
Mm-hmm.
information. It's like, I have to tell you that you create systems for that, right? Like there's specific a credit card you're going to give them, and then they can use that specifically for them. So that's not a problem. In terms of the payments, there is a company that goes through autopay for them. One of the things is that the whatever we're doing in the United States, at least for Philippine currency and buying capacity, is 5 times, right? So for whatever dollar we pay them, it turns out to be 5 times the capacity. So If something for us costs $1 here, it's going to cost them 5 times less there, as I understand, correct?
Yes, Dr. Diaz.
Yeah. So, Shandia, if someone wants to be hiring a virtual assistant, do you have any particular recommendations to help that person who's new to having a virtual assistant? What sort of things would they think about as an employer that will facilitate and will retain a virtual assistant working for them?
So for that, if you want to hire a virtual assistant, the very first thing that you would do is to listen to our podcast. Since in our podcast, right, Dr. Diaz, there
Yes,
will be tips there on how to maximize value in your VA experience. So that's what Dr. Diaz
that was
told us earlier.
unplanned. That's
Yes.
true.
So that's the very first thing that you would do. Listen to our podcast since you will know how to maximize value in your VA experience.
And so we listened to the podcast, we hired somebody. How about the relationship with that VA? Like, like you say, like at times you feel sad because I
Yeah.
were not sending. We have an answer right away. Maybe like I have to think about that. I have to then look at the schedule and see how that matches and all that stuff. And then somebody pulls me, to the side and all these things happen. So for the VA, there's the babies there. Then
Yes,
they're
baby.
kind of part of the family. Um, so so what other things, maybe one or two tips that you might want to give to the business owners that might be help to them so that they can retain their VAs?
Okay. So first is the very first thing that Dr. Diaz and Tomas set is clear expectation of what you do and don't like, because that's where you meet with your VA. So, and then after setting clear expectation, be willing to have fun with it, right? We keep a growth mindset. So here in Maxalur, we have this growth mindset with us. Dr. Diaz and Tomas is very supportive. They are they are giving us they're giving us books to read or videos to watch, and how can we enhance our skills for us to help them, and of course for our growth.
Well, thank you very much for saying that. Yeah, that's true. One of the things that we really want to do, and to tell the truth, that's what really attracted me to Phyllis Song. It was by recommendation. Apparently, you cannot get to them without recommendation. So if you want to hire a virtual assistant, just tell them that we send you. We don't have an affiliate agreement with them, but it's totally like we truly believe in the process. It's a process that's way different, and we really want the virtual assistants to grow with us. It's not only about them servicing Maxalur as a company. We want them to be in such a way that they're happy growing, that that master, that the mindset we are hopefully living with our visual assistants what we teach in our mastermind.
Yes.
So we want them to learn the same things that we teach our physicians. They're learning with us. So that's been very helpful to be able to retain and then such quality. They also have in this process, this particular company has some meetings for the owners where you can learn how to maximize also that freedom, that work with your visual assistants, which we keep learning from them regularly. That's been great. So we're ending here shortly. Guys, if you want to, please share this with others. #live, #replay. Don't forget to go to our Design Your Physician Life podcast so you can listen to Phyllis Song, who's the owner of this particular company, and you can hear more about how you can maximize your freedom with the work of a virtual assistant. Any final words, Shandia, before we go?
So continue supporting Maxwell Mastermind, and of course our podcast Design Your Physician Life. And Dr. Diaz and Tomas, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for keeping me for a year, and and hopefully for more years to come until my fifth baby. Whoa.
High five, virtual high five.
Yeah,
Choo.
bye. So I'm really
Well,
happy with our team. Thank you so much. Of course, I feel I don't feel like a team member. I feel like a family.
that's the way it feels to us. So thank you, Shandia. And guys, if you've ever thought that is a difficult thing, we call it a really worthy challenge, and it really wasn't been much of a challenge. It's been a pleasure. This process, the whole thing has been a pleasure. I still get goosebumps when I know that we are with people who really care. They want to grow with us, and that we can do and grow together with them. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Shandia. You've been a wonderful employee. We're very proud of all that you've been able to achieve with us. And guys, everything that you see posted, now you have a face. That's Shandia. She's the one
Oh.
posting everything for us. She's the head behind many of those ideas. So thank you here. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Actually, next week, we're going to be talking. There's no guest in our podcast. I have a surprise for you for the next couple of weeks where
Oh,
we
I'm
can just
excited.
talk together and listen to some of the things that we bring to our mastermind so that you can learn what a session can be. So we'll see you then. Have a great week and have a happy Maxillary weekend.
Bye bye.
Bye.